So today we'll be looking at the best and the worst coasters and putting them in this tier list. This is the ultimate Theme Park Tycoon 2 tier list. I have been waiting with this video a little bit because last few months have been adding a lot new coasters, a lot of new remodeled coasters. So I think we're finally at the time where I can actually look at the coasters, what we have, and actually are the good ones, are the really bad ones, are the ones that shouldn't exist. So let's have a look. So we're going to start with the Beyond Vertical Drop Coaster. I think this one was added around a year ago. It is a good coaster model. It's a bit outdated now. It's not very smooth. So I think I'm just going to put it in B for now. Then we have the Corkscrews coaster. Really good model actually. I kind of like it. So I think I'm actually going to put it on C. It's smooth for, of course, a Vekoma corkscrew coaster. Trains are good. It just looks good. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one. Then we have the dive coaster, and yeah, this one is just really rough. It's an old model, doesn't look too good. It's maybe not as bad as the wing coaster, so I think I will be going for E. Then we have quite a new coaster still, the floorless coaster. When it came out, this was probably my favorite coaster model before the extreme spinning coaster and the multi-lounge, but I am definitely going to put this in A. It's maybe not as high up as the other ones, but yeah, it's really good, this model. Okay, then we have quite an interesting one, the 4D coaster. When it came out, I was like, oh, this is super cool, but I knew somewhat this will not be used because 99% is not an extreme good builder in this game or doesn't know extremely well how coasters work and stuff, and 4D coaster is just too hard for the normal person that plays it. Coaster model is great, it works amazing if you know how it works. I have tried it myself. It's also right now just too big for the plot. When you build one, it's just half your plot size, it's just gone. So for that, I'm also probably going to put it around B with the Beyond Vertical coaster. Then we have the old floorless. Definitely not a bad coaster model. It's definitely, of course, not as high up as the other floorless or the new floorless. But yeah, I think I'm going for D. It's definitely not as good as the 4D coaster, but yeah, it's definitely better than the dive. And after that one, we have the flying coaster. This is also a really interesting one. Of course, this is the new flying coaster. I actually personally really like it. The only downside, of course, of a flying coaster is that the POV is really weird. It is definitely C. Yeah, a C tier. Then straight after that we have the old flying coaster, which I don't like, if I'm honest. So I think that's just straight going next to the dive coaster. I don't know, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't look good. Then the hybrid coaster. Also, this coaster is like in between the transition of like old models and new models. So the train looks good, underside of the train not. But yeah, this is also one of the better coaster models. So for that reason, I'm still going to put it on A, because it is just a really fun coaster to make, and I have made a lot of those, and I personally still really like it, and it is quite smooth if you know how to use it. Then we have the hydraulic coaster, and this is one of those coasters that I never really use anymore. It is outdated, the trains look not very good. The only way you can really use it is for strata coasters, and I never built those. I'm probably going to put it next to the floorless. Yes, next to the floorless, that's probably the best. The hyper coaster is also a really interesting one. It is not smooth, that's for sure. Model is good. It's a great coaster, of course, for big parks and stuff like that. It's like a parking lot coaster or just a hyper one. I am probably going to put it next to the 4D and the Beyond Vertical. Yeah, I never really built it because it's definitely not smooth. Then the inverted coaster, 4 seats across, which is also a really good model. I love the coaster. I'm not good at building it, but of course I have one in my dream park. It is definitely going to be at the top. It's definitely not at the top, but it is definitely a really good coaster model. Then we have the new inverted coaster track, of course, the SLC. I like it. I don't use it. I don't know. I don't have a park where it fits in. It's probably also going to be around C. It's the same as the corkscrew coaster, but just upside down. Then we have the old inverted coaster, and for some reason I really like this one. It is smooth. It looks like a new gen Vekoma coaster or new gen Vekoma inverted. Yeah, I don't know. I think for some reason it's as good as the new inverted coaster just because it's still good. Then we have the inverted lounge coaster, and this one is not as good, mainly because of the track. It's like triangular instead of the inverted coaster has, yeah, this track, just the free beam track. So I'm probably going to put this actually on D. I don't really like it. And then guys, we have the launched spinning coaster. Of course, the newest coaster, and this one just goes straight to S. Amazing. I love building it. It's extremely smooth. It looks amazing. Just on ride, POV, even off ride, it looks insane. And especially when we're like a few weeks later, everyone has like built it, themed it, and we're going to see some crazy projects with that coaster. So yeah, definitely a S tier. Then we have one of the oldest coasters, of course, in the game, the Junior coaster. And I don't know if I've ever built this one really, maybe for like a video, but never really in a park. But yeah, it's not a good coaster model. It doesn't look great. It's just one box. So it's probably going to be F. It's also, of course, a really old one, but if we're going to be honest, it's not that great. And after that one, we have the Mine Train coaster. And I do like this one. The track is, of course, something entirely different. We don't see it. You can use it also for a lot of other things, as like bridges and stuff. So it also has some other functions. So I like it. Is it as good as these one at the C tier? I don't think so. It's probably going to be B tier. Then we have the old multi-launch coaster, which is just extremely bad, if we're going to be honest. It's rough. The train just looks ugly as heck. The track is alright, but yeah, I don't like it. So that's also just going straight to F. Then we have, I think, the most hated coaster in Theme Park Tycoon 2, the Phase Turbine. I don't like it. The track is alright to overlay, but we don't really need to overlay anymore. Yeah, the train, I don't know what Dennis thought when he was making this, but yeah, this is just one of those coasters that shouldn't exist. But then we have the multi-launch coaster, and this, guys, is of course my favorite roller coaster model. I think it's the best one. It looks amazing, the track amazing, it's the most smooth coaster in the game. So this one is also straight going to the S tier next to the launch, and I think you can kind of see a pattern. They're both Mac Intamin, so yeah, I like those. And now we have the single rail coaster, which is an interesting one because this one was also in the transition of old models and new models. Yeah, I don't know, I've never really built one, if I'm honest. Train is alright, it doesn't look perfect, but I don't think you can really change a lot on it, and the track is just one big box. I think, yeah, that's of course a single rail coaster. For that, I'm probably just going to put it in the middle. I think it's not perfect, it's not bad, it's normal. After that one, we have the old spinning coaster, and I do not like this. The spinning mechanics of this coaster are just bad. They're not accurate, they're not realistic. Coaster model is bad. I don't think it is as bad as the multi-launch and the Junior, so I'm going probably for E tier. I think that fits around nice. Now we have the stand-up coaster, and this is just one of those coasters that no one really needs. I don't know, maybe it should exist, I guess, because maybe some people want to use it, but why did we get it? I don't know why. It's of course maybe a filler update. Of course it was, if I'm right, the update before the launch spinning coaster, so maybe it had like a little bit more time. Of course it uses the same track and almost the same train as the Floorless. I personally don't like it. The POV cam is constantly like, you have like the front of the train is constantly in the POV screen, which is irritating as heck. For that reason, I'm probably going to put it on E. And then we have the old steel coaster, and this is also one of those coasters that I never really built because I didn't like it. Of course, the train model is almost as same as the multi-launch. It's just, if I'm right, oh wait, it's exactly the same actually. I don't like it. It's also probably just going to be F. It's not smooth. It doesn't look good. So right there. And now we have actually a coaster that's really interesting. The Steeplechase. I still don't know how to pronounce the Steeplechase. I don't know. The coaster with the horse on it. We're going to name it like that. A really interesting coaster. I think there's only one left on the world in Blackpool Beach. I really want to build one in like my own park that's just on streams. It looks alright, nothing really special. Yeah, it's a coaster that you can only use for like certain things, or you can like the horse ride where you sit on, or just a steeplechase coaster. Yeah, I don't know, maybe just a D. It's definitely not a bad coaster, but it's not great. And then the suspended coaster. This is also one of those coasters that were added and no one really used. It's quite an interesting and hard coaster to build. Mainly these coasters are on side of mountains and stuff, so that's a lot of terrain. Though not a lot of people build big mountains and stuff, so I think I tried to build once, but yeah, I don't know, it just didn't really fit. I think it is a smooth coaster. It's a really interesting coaster. The model is alright, so it's probably going to be a D tier. And then guys, we have another pearl, the vertical launch coaster. I think if I made this tier list 1 year ago, this one would have been on the S tier. But because of like the last year with the new coaster models, of course, the replacer, the multi-launch, this coaster has dropped quite a bit. I actually haven't built it anymore since the multi-launch, so that's been like a few months. The train is outdated now. The track is of course still one of the smooth coaster, so it is still definitely going to be probably on C. It is not great, the train, but it's good for like overlaying if you want like a smooth POV. After that we have the water coaster, which is also a coaster that a lot of people actually build and seem to like. I personally don't really, but that's mainly because I don't really have a place for that in my park and stuff. It is a good model, it looks great. If I do one, it sometimes is quite boring for some reason, but it's definitely not bad. I think I'm probably going to put it next to the vertical lounge, or maybe next to the vertical lounge. And then we have another really old coaster, the Wild Mouse. And yeah, I think I can just straight put this onto the junior coaster. It's almost exactly the same. I think we really need like a remodel of the Wild Mouse coaster. I think that can really fit in this game. Yeah, I don't think I have to talk too much about it because it's quite the same as the other ones in the F tier. And now we have the Wayne coaster. And this is just one of those coasters that's just extremely rough. This desperately needs a remodel, same of course as the dive coaster, and this is also just straight going to F tier. I don't like it, it's ugly, it's just, I think it's probably the most rough coaster currently in the game, so yeah, let's put it in F tier. Last but not least, the wooden coaster. It's, I think, sort of the same as the hybrid, but of course it's not made from steel. I don't know if it has the same support, but if I'm right, it has. It looks great if you have like a really cool park, so I think I'm just going to put this next to the A. It's not as good as the hybrid. I like the trains of the hybrid more. I wish we just had like more options for like the wooden coaster trains with like the old ones where you have like 3 next to each other. Yeah, I think this is for A tier is probably nice. Alright guys, that is my tier list. I think it's sort of accurate. Let me know guys if you agree with this. I have made this tier list public. I will be updating it every update when new coasters come, so maybe in like a few years I can do this video again. And did you enjoy this video? Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and guys, I will say as always, goodbye.